Hi, my name's Jordan Buhrs, and I'm going to be your host for the entire FIFA World Cup 2022. Before we get in to my No House Advantage picks for the first round of the round of 16, make sure you subscribe to the Odd Shoppers channel because we post daily predictions, daily previews, and daily No House Advantage videos. Speaking about No House Advantage, they have two types of contests over there. One which allows you to pick overs and unders and enter them into a GPP style tournament contest. The other, which we'll be talking about today, are props over and under picks, which allow you to multiply your winnings up to 20x. All you have to do is use code STOCHASTIC to get your first deposit bonus of up to $50. That's code STOCHASTIC to get your first deposit bonus of up to $50. It'll also be linked down in the description, so make sure you click that link. And without further ado, let's get into my No House Advantage picks for the Netherlands versus USA and Argentina versus Australia. Now, Netherlands versus USA is going to be a very, very tight game. I think both of these teams don't want to concede early. So the way I'm seeing this going is that the Netherlands and the USA will be 0-0 at halftime. There probably will be some opportunities later on in the game, probably more so to the Netherlands. We saw in the group stages, the USA, in their 1-1 draw to Wales, they fell off in the second half. That's when Gareth Bale got that penalty and scored. We saw in the England game, they came off the gas a little bit in the second half. And then we saw it in their last game, where they came off the gas a little bit in the second half against Iran. Luckily, Christian Pulisic had scored that goal, and they made it through to the knockout stages. Now, Netherlands, on the other hand, we did see a little bit of a chink in their armor against that Ecuador side. They started off with a 2-0 win over Senegal, and even Senegal looked like they found some momentum and created some chances in that first half. But Netherlands do what they do. They stick with that solid defense, and then they take their opportunities later in the game. Then they came up against Ecuador, that 1-1 draw. To be honest, Ecuador really pressed them. And that was the first time I had some doubt in this Netherlands side. And then they took care of Qatar in their final match day. Now, Netherlands, one of the best defenses in the world. I think USA are going to struggle to breach this defense, especially area in the air. There's no ways that the Netherlands are going to get dominated off set pieces. I think the USA are going to have to counterattack or hit a goal from way outside of the box in order to score. Now, the first player I do want to look at is Bruyne. He hasn't started the last game. He didn't start against Qatar, and he's only averaged 62 minutes per game. And in those 62 minutes per game, he hasn't had any shots. Now, Bruyne is meant to be one of the better players in Netherlands side, but I just don't think he's going to start against USA here. I haven't seen him in any projected lineups, and this comes down again to make sure you check the lineups before you bet and before kickoff. They come out an hour before kickoff. So if he is in the lineup, I would leave him out of this accumulator. If he isn't in the lineup, I would go under. He'll probably come off the bench for the last 10 or 15 minutes. And I don't see him getting over 1.5 shots against this USA side. I think it's going to be a very defensive game, and especially because he hasn't got any shots under his belt in the first two games that he played. Then the second player I want to look at is obviously Christian Pulisic. Now, I do think USA are going to have a chance or two. I think Christian Pulisic is going to have to take a couple of shots from outside the box. It is going to be difficult for them to breach the defense of Netherlands, but they do have some pace, and they potentially could. I also think that the USA will be looking to win this in 90, because the longer this game goes on, I think the higher the chances that Netherlands win it. USA don't have the bench that Netherlands does, and we've seen how USA have taken their foot off the gas in their group stage game. So I think Pulisic, Greg Berhalter will emphasize that they need to win this within 90 minutes. However, I do think Christian Pulisic will go over 0.5 shots on goal. He's averaged 75 minutes per game. He's averaged 2 shots per game. He's averaged 0.7 shots on goal, and I'm assuming he is on penalties, so he should be able to get that over 0.5 shots on goal. Then the last player I want to look at from this game is Memphis Depay. Now, Memphis Depay is the talisman. He is the impact player for Netherlands. Yes, Cody Gakpo has been in incredible form, scoring 3 goals in 3 games. He just can't stop scoring. And the combination of Gakpo and Memphis Depay has me very excited for this Netherlands side. They look very interlinked. Their chemistry looks on point. They play in between each other from very close distances. It looks like they've been playing together for years, which they haven't. Now, Memphis, he was struggling with some injury in the first match day or two. He's only averaged 46 minutes per game. Obviously, he didn't play in the first game against Senegal, came off the bench against Ecuador, and then started and played 60 minutes against Qatar. Now, I do think he's going to start. He is one of the best players in the Netherlands side. He's only averaged 46 minutes per game, but he has averaged 2 shots per game. And bearing in mind, he's only played sort of 95 minutes of football. He's averaging 2 shots per game. So if he plays a full 90 minutes, he's definitely getting over 2.5 shots, especially with the space that Gakpo is going to allow him. And I think the likes of Bergwijn and whoever's playing in that midfield, De Jong, are going to provide some space. And Memphis, with his pace and his skills, should be able to find some space and get off some shots. So over 2.5 shots seems pretty locked to me. And then the last player we're going to look at does come out of the Australia versus Argentina game. Now, as you guys know, if you watched some of these no house advantage videos, I don't like going for the passing stats because I feel like the passing stats aren't as predictable as the shots. We do know how dominant teams can be, and the more dominant they are, the more shots they have. Obviously, then the more passes they have. But for me, I feel like it's a little bit less predictable than the shots. Now, the only player we can really look at here is Lionel Messi with the shots. Lionel Messi has averaged 90 minutes per game. He averages 4.3 shots per game in the last 3 games in the World Cup. Now, bear in mind that they did lose the first game 2-1 to Saudi Arabia, where there weren't that many shots. They caught them a lot offside. And then they beat Poland and Mexico 2-0 each. So still not high-scoring games, but Messi still gets 4.3 shots on 4.3 shots on average per game. Now, if you're looking at this Australian team, Australia are definitely not on the level of Argentina. Argentina should be winning this one quite convincingly. Obviously, we've seen what Australia can do. They pulled off a 1-0 victory against Tunisia, pulled off a 1-0 victory against Denmark. I don't want to underestimate them, but I just think Argentina win this game very, very comfortably. I think Messi controls the game. He's definitely going to have over 4.5 shots for me. He's probably going to score. He's on penalties. There's no reason for me to think that this game isn't going to be a lot more open than previous games. And I think Argentina could really run up the scoreboard here. So over 4.5 shots for me on Lionel Messi. Now, if we go down here, you can see that we've gone all the way up to 11x. That means that if we put $100 in here, we walk away with $1,100 if each of these ones if each of these ones hit. Obviously, the more players you have, the higher your money, your payout can be, but the more difficult it is to hit and vice versa. So let's just recap this. We've got Christian Pulisic at over 0.5 shots on goal. We've got Steven Bergwijn at under 1.5 shots. Remember, check the lineup for that. We've got Memphis Depay at over 2.5 shots. And then we've got Lionel Messi at over 4.5 shots. Now, guys, that's all I have for you today. It's going to be very interesting. Netherlands versus the USA, Argentina versus Australia, round of 16. This is what the World Cup is all about. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we post daily predictions, previews, and No House Advantage videos. Also, make sure to go check out No House Advantage and use code STOCHASTIC to get your first deposit bonus of up to $50. My name's Jordan Buhrs, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.